Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Did you know there's no safe place outside when there's a thunderstorm? If you hear thunder, then lightning is close enough to strike you. So when you hear thunder, get to a safe space immediately and stay there for at least 30 minutes after you hear the last sound of thunder. Come, we have another stimulating show, starting with the news.
Mosquitoes will breed in containers that hold water. Tightly cover water storage containers such as drums, buckets and tanks, or cover the water surface with cooking oil. Punch holes in all tins, plastic containers and boxes to prevent the collection of water before disposal. Cover old tires or fill with dirt. Scrub all vases once per week to remove mosquito eggs and dispose of garbage by placing in plastic bags. Do your part to prevent mosquito breeding.
Good day, I'm Adrian Atkinson and this is your JIS News for Monday, October 9, 2023. Residents of several communities in rural Westmoreland are set to benefit from regularized electrification works and improvement in social services. Minister of Energy Darrell Vaz and key partners conducted a recent tour of the Barracks Road, Farm Pen, Landilo, Cook Street and Prospect communities to assess the scope of work to be done. The Rural Electrification Program is being operated under a Memorandum of Understanding with the Jamaica Public Service Company and the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Minister Vaz says the fact-finding tour will help in drafting funding allocations for next year's budget.
The first location, Barracks Road,
yes,
that is a project that's approved. That is a tender. And that should start, the tender should be evaluated and work start December, January. And it's an 8-week turnaround. We are here at Cook Street. This one is a little different to the others that we have visited because I understand that there's 293 households and it is probably approximately 30% that are properly wired.
The Farm Pen, Landilo and Prospect communities were assessed as new projects under the program. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton is assuring Jamaicans that his ministry is on top of the dengue situation. He says vector control teams were mobilized in July and the outbreak mitigation plan is successfully reducing the impact on the population.
We're not on top of it, and I want to reassure the member that we are on top of the outbreak, or certainly the situation, which involves all of us. We have been making preparations, but we could not declare officially an outbreak until the data was available. But that does not mean we have not mobilized the troops in the field, sensitized the critical public health team at the parish level or otherwise, and they weren't out there doing their work. And I suspect it is because of that why we are in a better position.
Dr. Tufton was making an address to Parliament recently. The Health Ministry's dengue outbreak mitigation plan includes search and destroy operations, clinical management, workforce management, surveillance and public education. Minister Tufton adds that testing for dengue is ongoing and that the country has all the material needed to do this. The public is meanwhile being reminded to do weekly search and destroy activities for Aedes aegypti mosquito breeding sites in their environment. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie is asking that a counterbalance be struck with the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, and residents to ensure timely garbage collection and proper disposal practices.
There is a fundamental note that we need to strike in this country. And I will die saying this. If we give every community in Jamaica a garbage truck, if the minds of many Jamaicans don't change, we're still going to be faced with the same problems. We have an obligation as a people to work also to ensure that we dispose of our garbage in the right way.
Minister McKenzie was speaking during a recent tour of Western Hanover. He informed residents that the procurement for an additional 50 garbage trucks was advanced, with the trucks expected by the end of this year or early in 2024. The National Land Agency, NLA, is reporting that it has issued over 8,000 titles under the Systematic Land Registration Program since it began in 2021. The agency was mandated by the government to deliver a total of 20,000 titles in 3 years. Of this number, 12,000 are to be issued under the Systematic Land Registration Program, SLRP. The agency has so far issued 12,224 certificates of title, 8,284 under the SLRP. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as the Systematic Adjudication Area. The project is currently being administered in St. Elizabeth, St. Catherine and Manchester, and over 100 communities have been declared as systematic adjudication areas. The Adjudication Services Division of the NLA assists landowners who have been in undisturbed and undisputed possession of their land for 12 years or more to claim ownership via this process. And finally, persons in and around St. Andrew now have access to more than 2,000 justices of the peace, following the recent commissioning of an additional 100 JPs in the parish. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck has implored the new JPs to ensure that they serve the public.
I beg of you, let it mean something. Let the words mean something. That you're going to be promoting justice and you're going to, in your own small way, assist in securing peace in our country.
He reminded the new justices of the peace that they are to serve with humility.
You must be, as you have been trained and taught, of unquestionable integrity, and I always add, unblemished character. You have some JPs who from the get the JP, they're looking to see how they can earn from it. That's not what the Justice of the Peace is about.
The Justice of the Peace Act was amended in 2018 to expand the jurisdiction of JPs to allow them to serve anywhere on the island. JPs also serve in the drug court and are required to visit prisons, children's homes, and homes for the aged. Over the past 6 years, 862 JPs have been commissioned in St. Andrew. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
It's time again for the JIS Heritage Poster Competition. Are you a secondary level student? Design a digitally or illustrated poster on the theme Echoes of Freedom, tracing Jamaica's path from colonialism to republic. Let's see your best design. Lots of prizes to be won. Visit jis.gov.jm for competition guidelines. Registration is now open and closes October 31. The JIS Heritage Poster Competition 2023. Enter today.
I'm sure you've heard of the community development portfolio that has been attached to the Ministry of Local Government. What you may not know, or maybe you do, is that the ministry has embarked on a drive to improve the lives of Jamaicans one community at a time. The latest stop was North Central Clarendon. Catch the highlights.
I'm very grateful because it's been very rough. Being a single mother is hard for me. Yeah, but I'm so elated. And I don't know how to tell her thanks, Minister, from my heart.
Thanks be to God. I can walk on this road, I can dance, I can skip. The people then say coming like Baba Green already.
Just some of the beneficiaries of the work of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Local government as a policy has significantly changed the lives of our people by improving, developing institutions of national resilience as well as national advancement. Our efforts have set the stage for doing more.
The ministry, through Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie, has embarked on an all-island rural development tour. The aim, to get a first-hand look at the needs of citizens, addressing them one community at a time. The ministry recently zoomed in on the constituency of North Central Clarendon. First stop, a tour of the island's first water shop at Pennants.
I want to commend the mayor and especially the caretaker who have maintained this facility. I'm really proud to see that this facility has been
well kept and that the community has found good faith in it and has been utilizing the water that we have provided, and we will continue to do so.
But the need for water in North Central Clarendon remains.
Godwood, where we're going to be putting down a 20,000 gallon water shop, and we're moving on to Bedford Crawl, where we're going to be putting in a 16,000 gallon water shop to try to deal with the needs of the communities who are really struggling. We have seen the situation as it relates to the water, piped water in the area, and we have just identified a couple locations which is owned by the government.
Right.
And we are now proposing to put 20,000 gallon water shop at that location. The municipal corporation will be working with the ministry technical team, and they're doing the assessment as to see how quick we can start, because wherever we go and find that there is an immediate need for water, we would use all emergency procurement that exists in order to carry water to the nearest communities.
Even as the government works to put in long-term solutions to the water woes, the local municipal corporation has been trucking water to affected communities.
We're going to be providing allocations to the municipal corporation to purchase another water truck for the parish of Clarendon.
Next on the agenda, road infrastructure. While some roads are in excellent condition, this cannot be said for others.
There are some other roads that we drove on today that is desperately in need of attention. The technical team is going to be working with the municipal corporation to attend to at least one of the roads that we drove on today to see how best, and especially that road that takes the community to the school.
Yes.
I think it is critical. Pindars Valley. I think it is critical, and we're going to be paying attention to that.
Water, check. Road, check. And now housing.
We see where you're living, and we have commenced the process for us to give you one of the indigent social indigent housing program under the Ministry of Local Government. I understand that you have place over on the other side across for us to build unit. Miss Lewis and the Inspector of Poor, they will come back to you shortly to conclude the investigation. As soon as the investigation is completed, we're going to commence the construction of the unit for you. Just to tell you in advance, we're going to build your house and furnish it for you so you can be and it is going to be disabled friendly. We have identified so far 3 of the cases so far. One is ready for action because they have the title for the place, and we are going to be moving expeditiously in putting down the housing solutions for the social housing program under the Ministry of Local Government Indigent Support Program.
That's it for North Central Clarendon for now. Other constituency visits are being planned, with Hanover being the next stop on the tour. Who knows, your community may be next, so stay tuned as the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development continues to prepare Jamaica for First World status through the institution of local government.
The battle against climate change is an ongoing one, and Jamaica, like other small developing states in the world, must find ways to cauterize the challenges associated with this phenomenon. Let's hear how the Hills to Oceans project is making a difference.
Spectacular views of the Blue Mountains, the cradle for the Wadwater River watershed, one of Jamaica's 26 watersheds, and the source of 40% of the water for the Kingston metropolitan area. Fresh water rolls from these hills to the valley, supplying one of Jamaica's longest rivers, the White River, flowing for 27 kilometers past bamboo groves and lush vegetation, crossing the boundary lines of the northeastern parishes of St. Anne and St. Mary to empty into the Ocho Rios Fish Sanctuary and into the Caribbean Sea. A Jamaican path from hills to ocean. This is a story of a remarkable project to increase Jamaica's resilience to climate change by sustaining our watersheds, our coastlines, our land and marine resources, while empowering more Jamaicans with the required knowledge and awareness to secure their livelihoods in these spaces. The Hills to Ocean project is funded by the European Union Global Climate Change Alliance Plus in partnership with the Government of Jamaica to the tune of €6 million over 5 years. The project will implement integrated and sustainable landscape and coastal management interventions to tackle the thorny challenges of declining ecosystems, biodiversity loss, land degradation, and the vagaries of climate change affecting vulnerable communities in Jamaica.
The project intends to stop erosion in selected watersheds to reduce degradation of important terrestrial habitats, sedimentation of the marine space, loss of soil productivity, and pollution of the rivers and streams for improper waste management. The restorative activities are therefore designed towards building climate resilience and transforming managing capabilities within affected ecosystems and communities.
In the lower reaches of the watershed, the flow of the Wagwater River has slowed to a trickle in parts of the picturesque Castleton Botanical Gardens. For Oswald Eyre, a longtime resident of the Wagwater Valley and president of a local NGO working with the 17 communities, the Hills to Ocean project is a welcomed addition to the ongoing efforts to restore the watershed.
These are two big resources, Castleton Gardens and the Wagwater and its tributaries. In the early days, the Wagwater was most important for fishing, for recreation, for training everybody on the banks of the Wagwater, some 17 to 18,000 persons. By age 10 or so, they will be able to swim. There was a section of the river that we call Deep Hole, very deep, and it retained water. And when rainfall is low, those deep holes will gradually feed the stream with water. And by the time they are exhausted, rain would come again and refill them. All that is gone today.
The Hills to Ocean project will directly benefit Castleton Gardens and many other communities and residents who make their livelihood from key economic sectors like agriculture and tourism. There are 3 targeted watershed management units under the project: the Wagwater WMU, including Castleton Gardens, the Rio Nuevo WMU in St. Mary, and the Rio Bueno White River WMU in St. Anne and Trelawney. The project will also focus on wetland ecosystems at Winds Morass on the coast of Falmouth, Trelawney, and farther inland at the Mason River Protected Area at the border of St. Anne and Clarendon, a Ramsar site known for its rich biodiversity. The Hills to Ocean project will also assess the health and distribution of seagrass beds in the Ocho Rios Marine Park Protected Area and at the Helsha Bay and Half Moon Bay Portland Bight Protected Area in St. Catherine and Clarendon.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
How many songs do you know that make up the Jamaican culture? Well, you're in for a treat as children from Moko Primary share what they know.
This long time, yeah, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. This long time, yeah, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. Feel like John Cross, you don't get a cheat up, pick out the glass up. Make me hold your hand, yeah. Let me hold your hand. It is wash day down a riverside. Bring your dirty clothes. Wash day down a riverside. Come no bother pose. Bring your mother pants and your sleeve shirt. Bring your mother pants and your sleeve shirt. White clothes and colours. Black stripe and checkers. We are gonna give them a good rub. We are gonna give them a good scrub. It is wash day down a riverside. Bring your dirty clothes. Wash day down a riverside. Cocoa breeze a blow.
Residents of Manchester, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, join Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Thursday, October 12 at 6 p.m. for a town hall meeting on building Jamaica better water supply. See you at the Mandeville Primary at Junior High School, Caledonia Road, Mandeville. Come with your questions and share your thoughts with the Prime Minister or join us on the JIS and OPM social media platforms. Let's continue the conversation on building Jamaica better water supply. See you there.
We all know that Jamaica's tourism industry is one of the main drivers of the country's long-term economic development. But how can the local tourism sector remain resilient in a changing world? Let's find out more in this feature.
I appreciate that we're working on our resilience as a small island state, and that is very important given that tourism is one of our main income earners.
It has been awesome. Lots of information sharing, and we are glad that we came all the way to Jamaica.
I'm really excited to actually go out and use the information that I've learned.
It's been a real pleasure to come here and see how the two regions, in particular the Caribbean and Africa, have really come together to try to foster a spirit of collaboration.
Tourism resilience is the strategic management of shocks and effectively responding to them. It's the focus of the first ever Global Tourism Resilience Conference. Jamaica is leading discussions on tourism resilience. Recently, government officials from the continent of Africa, the Caribbean region, and international tourism stakeholders converged on the island to discuss the way forward.
They are here to forge a relationship not just with Jamaica but the entire Caribbean.
The historic Global Tourism Resilience Conference was held at the University of the West Indies regional headquarters in Kingston from February 15 to 17. It is a welcomed shift to future-proofing the tourism economy. The conference was organized by Jamaica's Ministry of Tourism and its Global Tourism Resilience Center, GTRC. Globally, the tourism industry continues to recover from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, which halted travel and resulted in labor market disruptions. It is within this atmosphere of disruptions that the tourism resilience movement gathered momentum.
The pandemic has underscored the importance of a proactive, cross-cutting approach to building resilience across the entire tourism value chain. This entails integrating the latest research findings, innovations, and technology to create sustainable tourism practices.
And the thing is, how many countries, how many destinations have a blueprint, have a manual of crisis management that they can actually refer to.
What you've said is why we need to have the Global Resilience Day. A day when people pause all over the world to reflect on these things and to develop resolves.
But we are also considering an incentive, a fiscal incentive package for those businesses who would want to get involved in sustainable development tourism projects.
Jamaica and the Caribbean have a strong history of developing institutions to train the workforce in all aspects of tourism. This is an area where we can offer support to our colleagues through technical training in countries in Africa that are currently rebuilding or expanding their tourism industry.
And that's why we are really indeed glad that we are here. And we know for sure that one of the bridges that can be built between the Caribbean and the mother continent is actually through tourism.
Also, we are working with several countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Spain, and Greece to come up with strategies to support visitor economy in conflict areas.
So we are living in 2025 and 2026 today. All the decisions we're making today, you'll see the result then.
We have always talked about sustainability, but I think, as I said, it cannot be something just talk. Now it has to be in policy, it has to be in everything we do from a private and a public sector point of view.
The final day of the conference also marked the official launch of February 17, being recognized annually as Global Tourism Resilience Day. Yes, an official designation by the United Nations after a proposal by Jamaica. The day recognizes the recovery measures used to adapt and respond to disruptions in the tourism economy.
Thank you for being with us today on Jamaica Magazine. Remember to stay strong as there's a rainbow after every storm. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting journey. Of course, you can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.